All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to PoducateMe, the ESL podcast.
Hello, hello, everyone.
And today we have a special guest with us today that is here to talk about something that I think is really uh, something that Helen and I are, we also work in our fields of work as well. So we're very excited.
Yes. So, everyone, please welcome Iryna. Hi, Iryna. Good morning, good afternoon.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Iryna is actually my workout mate.
Mm-hmm.
I met Iryna at our workout classes. I've never met Iryna in person, though, because we have our workouts online. And then when I told the ladies in my group about the podcast, and I told them that we interview guests, and then Iryna told me about her line of profession, and I was amazed and so much surprised. And I'll tell you why. Because Iryna is a second language education professional with over 20 years of teaching experience in the field of English as a second language. Iryna holds a Master of Arts degree from the University of Waterloo, also a Master of Education degree from University of Toronto, and also in 2026, Iryna is starting her PhD in the Educational Leadership Program at the University of Windsor.
That's amazing.
Yay! That's so great. And over the years of Iryna's career, she has worked in a variety of teaching positions in the field of the second language education at various post-secondary institutions. And today, right now, nowadays, Iryna works as an academic integrity practitioner at one of Ontario's community colleges. And there, she provides expertise in the successful promotion and implementation of academic integrity policy, procedures, best practices, and educational support. Iryna also develops institution-wide campaigns to promote the principles of academic integrity and raise awareness of academic integrity in the college community. Iryna also serves on the Academic Integrity Council of Ontario, executive as a college liaison, where she advocates for college members and college-related issues. That's not all, guys. I'm not done, because Iryna is also an active member of the International Center for Academic Integrity and regularly presents at this organization's annual conferences. Wow.
Wow. That is quite a list.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And I think it's so amazing to have you here because, you know, we on a daily basis have to deal with this with our students, right? Like we have to really be making sure that our students are, being honest with the work that they're doing in the classes and the research that they're doing and the papers that they're submitting, and especially in the language learning industry or English for academic purposes area. Like sometimes it is very challenging because we have students that come from so many different countries with, their own rules and regulations about academic integrity. And so having to kind of almost teach these types of things at a beginner level is a challenge in itself. So it's really amazing work that you do, and really thank you so much for joining us. And I'm so curious to, I guess, like learn a little bit more from you. This is something that I deal with every single day of my job. So yeah, thank you again so much. I think we wanted to start off with one kind of general question for you, which is like, how would you, in very simple terms, how would you define academic integrity?
Well, first of all, thank you for such an upbeat introduction. I feel humbled. Um, well, there are many definitions to academic integrity. If you look in the literature, you'll find all sorts of definitions. Then there are different definitions in academic integrity policies across different institutions. But my favorite one doesn't come from either one of those. My favorite one is by British writer Lewis, who said academic integrity or integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Oh, love it.
I like it. Yeah.
Mhm. So it's all about ethics and ethical judgment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
is amazing. Okay, talking about the meaning of academic integrity, now that we know what this is, has the meaning or focus of academic honesty changed over time? You've been in the field for like over 20 years. So, what kind of changes?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. It has changed and it is constantly evolving, although the foundation remains the same, right? It's all about doing the right thing, having good ethical judgment, making ethical decisions. However, the advancement of technology has actually changed the way academic integrity works, and it definitely has redefined academic integrity in practice. So I would say the advancement or the emergence of AI tools has pushed the most common type of academic dishonesty, such as plagiarism, into what we call now a post plagiarism era. Yeah, so we're moving behind the regular definition, or we're moving not behind. I would say moving forward the regular definition of plagiarism, and yeah, looking at other types of academic dishonesty that come with technology.
That's a really
Yeah.
good point, and that's actually what I wanted to ask you about. Like, what are these days kind of the more common forms of academic dishonesty that you're seeing in students? I know on my end, it is very much related to AI.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting term that you said, like post plagiarism time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
should I should give credit to someone who coined this term. It's a very well-renowned Canadian academic integrity scholar. Her name is Sarah Elaine Eaton. So she's the one who coined the term and who introduced the term. So I would say within the circle of academic integrity practitioners, in our community of practice, that's the term that we use. Um, in terms of common forms of academic dishonesty, of course, unauthorized use of AI tools is prevalent. But in addition to that, I would say some, good old cheating is still there. Um, I would say unauthorized collaboration is still pretty common. That's when students collaborate on an individual project where they're not supposed to work in groups. We're seeing quite a lot of things like sharing exam questions in group chats such as WhatsApp. Um, some of the forms, it's actually interesting that AI has pushed some of the very common forms of academic dishonesty sort of out. And that would be contract cheating, which was huge before. So, contract cheating is when somebody hires a third party to write the
Oh,
assignment for you. So, services like essay mills were quite common, where you would just pay someone to write an essay for you. So, well, now with AI, who needs to pay
Of
to write an
course.
essay for you, right? If it can do that for you for free. So then also some of the very common forms of dishonesty were also, we call them file sharing or course sharing sites. I don't know if you've heard of them, such as Chegg or Course Hero. These were the biggest ones. Well, they went bankrupt. They're out of business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chegg no longer exists.
wow.
Yeah. So AI has actually changed the cheating landscape, I would
Mhm.
say,
The face of
right?
cheating is changed. Yes.
And
Yes, yes.
I think that's the challenge now, right? In this space is trying to keep up with, what is happening now and what the students are doing now
Hmm.
with in terms of, and then where is the line, right? Because,
Mhm.
I guess, there's a whole spectrum of AI tools and what types of AI tools can be used in education. And I don't know, there are some really great ones, right? Like there are AI chatbots, for example, that can really help, especially when we're thinking about language students,
Mhm.
right? There are ones that really help with socializing aspects or even just review or checking tools or things like that, which can be really helpful for some
Mhm.
students. But then again, yeah, you have it's hard to define like where the line is, right? I would say
Mhm.
Mhm.
for the students.
Yeah, I wouldn't place sort of so much weight on the student. I always say that, it's academic integrity is not only a student issue because most students are not bent on cheating and
Mm,
most students want to learn, right? So viewing academic integrity as purely a student issue wouldn't be fair. I think it's also a pedagogical issue,
Mhm.
how teachers approach,
yeah,
right, academic integrity and
100%.
how they actually address these topics, and how they integrate that into their curriculum, especially those teaching English as a second language or academic writing or any course that is heavily focused on writing
Yeah.
or um, or assesses through writing.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
that is actually our next question. We wanted to ask you, how do universities and colleges in Canada promote academic honesty among students?
Okay, that's a great question. So most institutions, of course, have like an academic integrity policy that needs to be introduced to students so that they're aware of their rights and responsibilities under the policy. But policies are usually written in very dry language that might be too difficult for students to understand, right? So especially if you're an ESL speaker. Many institutions have what we call academic integrity modules or academic integrity tutorials. The college where I work has an academic integrity tutorial that is embedded into and is mandatory for students to complete in all first year courses. So that's where students actually learn about the most common breach types, how to avoid getting in trouble, and how to learn to do their work with integrity. Now, another thing that many institutions do is they offer what we call citation clinics or
Mm,
APA clinics or whichever citation style you're
mhm,
looking for. That is usually offered through the libraries or through library and learning services. And then, of course, professors or teachers, instructors should teach about academic integrity. So that's usually on the Center for Teaching and Learning that provides training to faculty members. So they should train how to, right? How to teach academic integrity. And of course, if the institution has a centralized academic integrity office, then of course it's on the academic integrity office to promote integrity and to provide training to both faculty and students. And that's part of my role in my institution. There are actually only two of us in the academic integrity office, and my role is focused on training faculty members, and my colleague trains students.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really important
it is.
thing, I think. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
so I don't know, I guess in your experience on the boards that you're on, do you see that there are any differences in how like different schools handle these cases or to
Yes.
handle academic integrity and
Yes, absolutely. So I would divide institutions into universities and colleges for the most part, if we talk
Mhm,
about post-secondary. And so universities usually have much stricter policies. The penalties are usually harsher. And the process for the student involves a tribunal or a hearing, even for a first offense. Whereas in colleges, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say less strict, but more less punitive and more
mhm,
educational. So we focus more on, treating first offense as a learning opportunity. And so students don't necessarily get a very harsh penalty with the first offense, whereas at a university, typically the penalties are very strict and any offenses go on the student's academic record right away.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. So, with all of the experience that you've had throughout these years, and as someone being involved in all of those provincial councils, what would you say are some best practices that you've seen for promoting academic integrity?
Well, one that I've already mentioned, having an AI academic integrity module or a tutorial
Mhm.
accessible to students. But one of the really impressive practice I've seen through the years in one of American universities is actually having a course in ethics for first year students across the institution. Because if you think about it, not everyone is born with ethical judgment, and even outside of academic integrity, everyone at some point in their life faces an ethical dilemma, right? Where you need to make a judgment, right? What's an ethical way to approach a problem? And so having a course in ethics, I think, really helps in understanding academic integrity. So that's one practice that I really appreciate, and I wish that was offered in every college or university.
I
That is great.
totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I
I
think that should
second
be
it.
I think
Yeah.
that should be
Yeah.
mandatory, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, okay, so we did talk a little bit about we touched a little bit on like AI and technology and how these have kind of changed the way that we're looking at academic integrity. And I'm just wondering, I guess on the educator side, so how do we like kind of balance this use of like helping like using technology as an aid while still like making sure that we are ethically using these technologies.
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, but it's a complicated one. So there's no simple answer to that, but
Sure.
I would say definitely teaching the ethical use of AI tools to students and setting clear expectations as to what extent AI can be used in a particular project or assessment. Um, Teaching students to be critical about AI's output because it's not always great and it's not always accurate. So integrating some work with AI into your syllabus would be something really helpful because students often rely on AI and do not realize that when they submit academic work, they're still responsible for and accountable for what they submitted, right? And so relying on AI is often risky. And so teaching that is very important. But the challenge is that not every faculty member is knowledgeable about AI use themselves, right? So I believe institutions should provide that support to faculty members, provide training to them so that they in turn can train students.
Yeah.
That is
Um,
wonderful.
but but any course you teach, you need to set clear expectations and explain how AI can be used. But I guess for that, you would need to evaluate where, how using AI will will affect the learning outcomes, right? And or the type of knowledge that you want students to demonstrate. Yeah.
It's a whole new area of like critical thinking, both on the
Yeah.
faculty, like on the teacher's part,
Mhm.
as well as the student, right? You
Yeah.
really do have to look at each case and think like,
Mm.
okay, so in this type of situation, what is the correct thing to do? And in this case, what is not,
Yeah,
right?
and it seems like nowadays everybody's in the same boat. Everybody has to learn. The faculty has to learn about AI. The students has to learn about AI. I've read an interesting post on one of the social media about I don't really remember whether it was a teacher at a school or a university or a college, but what they do, they actually ask their students to use AI to complete their assignments but then the information that they get from the AI, they have to cross-reference it and check all of the references to find the mistakes and correct them. So this is a great way of showing the students that AI is not always right,
Yeah.
that you always have to check whatever information they give
Absolutely.
back to you. I think it's great.
That's a great approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to add is that it's also important to teach students to acknowledge AI use properly. And so if they're going to use it, declare its use, explain how it was used, where it was used, what it was used for. So students know how to do it ethically and how to acknowledge AI use. Um, Hopefully they won't get in trouble.
Reference it. I'm
Yeah.
listening to our conversation and I'm like, how did we get through school and universities without any of that?
With like
Yeah.
actual paper
With actual
encyclopedias.
paper books, going to the library,
Mhm.
like staying there like until late at night looking for the
Yeah.
information that we
It
needed.
was a simpler time.
Insane.
It was a simpler
Insane.
time back then. It was a
Yeah.
simpler time. But same problems, I
Same
guess. Yeah.
problems, yeah. We wanted also to talk a little bit about cultural and international perspectives because Canada, of course, has so many international students. Not as many, though, but it's a different topic. So, talking about international students. So, do cultural differences play a role in how students understand academic integrity? And before you answer, I was trying to remember if I was taught at my universities back in Ukraine about academic integrity. And I don't think I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned in high school.
No. Oh, school, forget it. School, forget it.
Oh.
Universities, I don't think that it was. Do you know anything about it, Iryna? If in Ukraine they were
Yes.
teaching or teaching now?
Now, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are academic integrity networks in Ukrainian universities today, but in my
Wonderful.
day, yeah, we weren't taught
Okay.
any of it.
Yeah.
Any of it. Yeah. So to answer your question, I would say I wouldn't say it's the cultural differences per se that impact how students understand academic integrity. It's probably the education system that they were schooled in, because international students come from different education systems, and also different countries use different have different citation
Mhm.
practices, right? They use different styles. So students are often not familiar with APA or MLA or any of the citation styles used here. So it depends on their previous background. I would say maybe one part of culture that might have an impact is when students come from collective cultures where, collaboration is valued and where people help each other, because Canadian culture is very much individualist, right? We're not a collective culture. So people who were schooled and raised in a collective culture have this idea that, if my friend is struggling and asking for help, I have to help them,
Mhm.
right? And so when somebody is asking for help, meaning share your paper with me or, give me the answers, students coming from collective cultures find it difficult to say no. So that would be something that we would need to teach them that collaboration has a limit, and that sharing is not always caring, right? That you can share to a certain extent, but you cannot really share your paper because then you will also get in trouble. So that would be probably the key differences that we see. So international students need more support in terms of understanding citation practices. But in general, I would say learning to write academically is like learning a foreign language on its own. Even if you are a native
So true.
speaker of English, that doesn't mean you know how to write with sources, you know how to integrate those sources, and you know how to cite those sources properly. So that's just something that all students need to learn.
I that's That's
Yeah.
exactly, I really liked how you put that. It is almost like an entire language to learn. That's why I always
Mhm.
do, I really try to emphasize the fact that like ESL classes or English as a second language classes are completely different from EAP
Yeah.
classes or English for academic purposes
Yeah.
because this is what it focuses on, right? It focuses on research skills,
Mhm.
finding, you know, quality sources, citing your sources
Hmm.
properly, and according to whatever APA, whatever format is required. And, I think a big, there are so many area or like it's a huge spectrum, I think, with international students, right? Because you do have students that need to be re-educated in terms of like they do have their own format or style in their own countries and they're very used to that. And then they have to readjust to whatever is being done in a Canadian college or
Hmm.
university. And then you
Mhm.
have students like this is just from personal experience as well. Like we have students who, who are PhDs and they are experts in their fields, but then they come to Canada and then they have to start from the beginning
Hmm.
again with how to do research, right?
Hmm.
And then this on the other end, you have students who have never had to cite anything before. And so they're not even familiar with what is
The
researching?
idea,
Yeah,
yeah, of
like how do you
citing
research
principle.
something? Or like
Yeah.
why can't I just Google something and then put that in my paper? Or why do I have to, there's such a broad spectrum of international students and their
Hmm.
backgrounds. So having to or having to like teach it as an actual, almost like an actual language is a really good way, I think, to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually wanted to mention one thing that I'm really excited about and proud of something that we implemented in my institution. So 2 years ago, we were reviewing our academic integrity policy, and as part of that, we were looking at the definitions of different breach types, and of course, one of them was plagiarism. And we've introduced unintentional plagiarism
Yes.
as something that should not be punished, and it's not a violation of academic integrity policy anymore. And that's exactly what you were describing. That's when students just don't know how to cite properly, and they would just provide a link to
Hmm.
maybe to a source, or they would put something in the references list but wouldn't put quotation marks around something they cited. So if you see some attempts to cite, maybe they're not correct, they're not proper, but you can see that the student attempted, then that should not be punished. Students need to be given an opportunity to learn.
Nice. Yeah, to be
Yeah,
encouraged to.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they are doing it. They are citing a source, right? Maybe
yes,
they're just not following
they're
the actual
learning.
format. And they should have the
Mhm.
opportunity to like do it again or try it again or be
Yeah,
taught, right? Be taught how to do it
exactly,
properly. Yeah.
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so just another question for you. What what is one piece of advice that you would give to students to to stay academically honest and confident in their work?
Um, one's very simple advice. Um, as long as you are still the author of your assignment, you should be good. Uh,
Oh.
right? Because it's very easy to outsource something to AI. Um, and so how much you outsource will determine who's the author of what
Mhm.
you're submitting, right? So if you're still the author and if you acknowledge your sources and you acknowledge any help that you use within permissible boundaries, right? Whatever is permissible by your instructor, by your professor, you should be okay. So always ask yourself, am I the author of what I'm submitting?
I love this
Yeah.
advice so much. This is
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
encouraging and so
Yeah.
inspiring, I would
And we
say.
don't want to scare the students, right?
Yeah.
Like we want them to really be confident and to take control of their
Mhm.
ideas and their thoughts and what they're doing. And that's as educators, that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that the student is being heard in their work, right? And
Hmm.
that's the bottom line.
Yes. And I also always advise students to not be afraid to speak to their professor or their instructor because they're your best guide, they're your best point of advice, right? So
Love it.
go and ask.
And they're
Is
there to
this
help.
okay?
Asking
Is
for
this,
help.
yes?
Yeah.
They want
Asking
you
for
to
help
succeed. You want to
is
succeed, right?
absolutely. So that's a very important strategy to have, asking for help from your professor. Yeah.
That is so wonderful. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Iryna. Okay,
You're
and
welcome.
we have a little tradition that we do at the end of our interviews with guests, something that is called quick fire round. So for the quick fire round, we are going to ask you 3 questions, and we're going to
Okay.
ask you to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay? Are you
Mhm.
ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Quick fire round. Question number 1. One word to describe integrity.
Ethics.
Oh,
Awesome.
yes, yes, agreed. Next question. Oxford comma. Yay or nay?
I can't answer that in one word, but I would say for academic writing, yay.
Yay.
For casual type of writing, nay.
Nay.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I'm going
Okay.
to ask you about that later.
Yeah. I'm curious too. And the last question, would you rather teach a Monday morning class or a Friday evening class?
Monday morning for sure.
Awesome. I
That's a
guess that I would go for that
that's
one
a
too.
good question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Awesome. Iryna, thank you so, so much again for joining us. I guess that we have learned a lot, and especially for me, first of all, as an not a native speaker of the language, and also when I came to Canada, being an adult, I had to learn all this stuff about academic English and academic integrity. And my mind was blown,
Yeah.
honestly, because I was like, what? But it
Yes.
makes so much sense.
Mine's the same.
And I'm
I
so
came here
happy.
as an adult as well. Yeah.
I am so happy that nowadays in Ukraine they do implement this as a part of the curriculum at
Yes.
universities and colleges. That's wonderful. So this is going to be the end of our interview. So if you have anything to say to our listeners and viewers, this would be a good time.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I hope our discussion um, has enlightened you or maybe helped you understand academic integrity better, and wish you the best of success in your future studies.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you so much for your time. It was really amazing to have this chat with you. And for our
Thank you.
listeners, if you guys have any questions or comments, maybe you are navigating your world here in our Canadian colleges or universities and want to add to the conversation, please feel free to talk to us over on Instagram at PoducateMe, or you can drop us an email at eslpoducateme@gmail.com. So until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and educate
Educate
yourself.
yourself.
Stay tuned. We have the Language Lab coming up next. Welcome to Language Lab, where we put words under the microscope, ethically, of course.
Yes, and no vocabulary was harmed in the making of this episode. All terms were handled according to strict linguistic guidelines.
And today we are breaking down the language from our interview with our special guest, Iryna, who is an academic integrity practitioner.
Yes, so let's dive into vocabulary that is so honest that it hands its homework before the deadline.
Ooh, yes, that's right. All right. So first up, we have practitioner. A practitioner is a person who is actively engaged in a profession. So it's, not a theorist, not a thinker. They are the people that actually do the thing that they are experts in.
Mhm. The next word is the word post secondary. And post secondary is basically education after high school. This is the world where you pay thousands of dollars to learn that you still do not know how to format citations, unfortunately.
Okay. Implementation. It sounds long, but it's a pretty simple idea. Implementation is like to put a plan or to put a policy into action. So, when those ideas stop becoming ideas and actually start creating the work.
Yeah. The next word is the word campaign. And campaign is a planned series of actions to achieve a goal. It's like a marketing campaign or political campaign, or I can't think of any other campaigns that people do.
But yeah, marketing and
political
yeah,
campaigns are the most
yes,
common ones.
that's true. Liaison. And a liaison is it's somebody who connects two groups together. So they are, if you think about it as the human version of hotspotting, that's a liaison for you. So they, a person who like maybe in a company, they work between departments to make sure that everybody's working together on a project. That would be a liaison.
The next beautiful word is a verb, to advocate. And to advocate means to publicly support something. It's like a fancy word for cheerleader, but with less glitter and longer skirts, probably.
Maybe longer skirts, yeah. To submit, and to all you students out there, this is a very important word for you. To submit is to hand in something, usually work. We do usually it's a word that we use a lot in school and at work. When you do an assignment and then you email it to your teacher, for example, that is submitting your work. When you're physically taking a piece of paper and giving it to your teacher to mark, that's also submitting something as well.
Yeah, you can also submit some documents,
You can
right?
submit
If you need to
documents,
apply for a visa or whatever.
That's right.
If you're going to university, you can also submit your application. The next beautiful word for our learners is the word curious. And curious means wanting to know or learn something. It's the innocent cousin of nosy.
True. Synonyms.
Yeah.
Different meanings, I guess.
Yes. But be curious, don't be nosy, okay? Curious is better.
All right. Next up is a word that we actually is a focus of this episode. It is integrity. Um, Integrity in general is the quality of being honest, having strong moral principles. And we talked about it in terms of academic integrity. So it's basically those same principles, but in an academic setting, right? Doing the right thing, even when no one's watching.
Yeah. Love it. Good. And the word ethics itself is all about the moral principles that guide our behavior. It's like the internal compass that tells you what's good and what's not good.
Yeah. And then you have that related word that we used a lot as well, ethical, right? Ethical behavior, ethical practices, all of that stuff. Okay, next we have the word to redefine. And here you can see that re again, and we all know that re is a prefix meaning again, right? So basically, redefine means to define again, right? So to give something a new meaning or a different meaning, something like that, right? So, when a definition kind of gets a little makeover or something like that, we're redefining the meaning of it. Yes.
The next word, we were also talking a lot about this word, is the word plagiarism. And plagiarism, in our context, is a kind of an academic dishonesty when you use someone else's work without giving credit to that person. So this is basically intellectual stealing.
That's right. Yeah. And we really don't want to do that in school. The next is a really good expression. I really like this expression. It's to give credit to something or to give credit to somebody. And it means that you're acknowledging a source or you're saying, oh, no, this is the people. This is the thing that did all of the thinking. I'm just saying it. I'm just the person repeating whatever it is, right? It's um, like I don't know. I guess you could compare it to like when you're tagging someone on Instagram, you're giving credit to a source, or if you're doing like a TikTok dance, and then you have to like tag the person who created the dance, and so you're giving credit to the person who created it.
Good association. The next one is a beautiful one, and it's an expression to coin the term. And to coin the term means to create a new phrase. And basically, it's like you are minting fresh vocabulary like it's currency, because the coins, when they are created, they are actually being minted.
Ooh,
Yep.
is that where it came from?
I have no idea, but
let's
let's find out. We'll find out later.
let's just say it is.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like minting new vocabulary like it's currency.
I like it. I like it. All right. Renowned. Renowned means famous or well known. And this is commonly used together with well renowned or world renowned. If you say world renowned, it's like everybody in the world
Worldwide
knows
famous.
this. Yes.
The next word is unauthorized. And if something is unauthorized, it means that it's not allowed or not approved. Like taking someone's snacks without their permission.
Ooh, that's unauthorized for sure.
Not in our houses.
All right. The next expression, I also really like this expression. It's to place weight on something. And we know, weight is, how heavy something is, right? So when you place weight on something, it's you're giving importance to that thing, right? So it's not like gym weights, right? You're giving weight to an idea or giving weight to an argument, right? Something like that.
Great one. The next expression is bent on. And if something or someone is bent on, it means that it's that the person is determined to do something. Like, I am dead serious. I'm doing this. I'm bent on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stealing your snacks.
Unauthorized. All right. Up next, we have another academic vocabulary word, and this is the word citation. Citation is like referencing, or you are taking reference to a source. So, when you are writing an essay or something like that, and you are taking like a fact or a statistic from somewhere else, you have to make a citation in your essay to show that, this is where you got your information from.
As Hannah was saying before, you have to tag the creator, the original source.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Give credit.
Faculty. Faculty is the teachers or professors at a school or a college or university. These are the people grading your essays while drinking coffee, maybe.
Maybe coffee.
Or not coffee. No judgment here.
All right. This is a word, I actually like the sound of this word. It's punitive.
I love it too.
Punitive. And punitive means that something is intended or it's supposed to be for punishment. It's like when the consequences are kind of serious, right? Yeah.
Offense. But we're going to be talking about the academic offense because this word has meanings in so many different areas.
Yeah.
Sport, battles, video games, and all that stuff. But we're talking about academic offense. A couple of times, Iryna mentioned, like, for the first offense, we want it to be warning and a learning curve for the students. So, offense in the academic world means a violation of academic rules.
And in sports, just don't be confused with offense and offense. Both words exist in sports. Okay, you look like you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I didn't hear the second word.
Oh, offense and offense.
Okay.
Right? So you've got like the offense and then the defense. Right? So in sports, you have players that play offense or they play defense. But then you have offense, which is like a red card or a yellow card. That's like an offense. First offense, second offense. So just be careful with that pronunciation there.
Noted. Duly noted.
Yes. Just in case we have any sports fans.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the word extent, or we use it in a phrase usually like to this extent or the extent of this, right? And it's the degree of how or to which something happens, right? So it's like, when you think, well, okay, how bad is it though? So what is the extent of this thing that you did? Yeah.
The word accountable. A good word Very heavy word. And accountable means to be responsible for something. I would say that it's the adulting word of all adulting words.
Yeah. Yep.
Being
You've got to be
accountable.
held accountable for everything that you
Yep.
do, for all of your actions. Next, to evaluate. And to evaluate is you're assessing or you're judging something. Professors, they evaluate your work, they evaluate your essays. The judges on The Voice, or what are those other competition shows? They are evaluating your
Mhm.
skills.
X Factor.
Yes. X Factor,
Yeah.
sure.
I don't know. It's just like you were like, what other shows? And my brain is like, I got the assignment. Remember all the other shows. Be in the same boat. Great expression. And to be in the same boat means to be in the same situation. Like when everybody's panicking about the deadline. Yay, we're all in the same boat. Teamwork.
Maybe
Let's
not-
panic together.
Maybe not this boat that we all want to be on, but we're in the same boat.
Exactly.
All right. To cross-reference, another kind of academic term. It's used a lot in academic areas. And to cross-reference means like you're comparing information from different sources. So you have one piece of information from one source, but you want to double check it to make sure it's correct. So you cross-reference it and you find another source that has the same information.
Mhm. We have another great expression,
Yeah.
I would say, here on the list, and it's the expression per se. And guys, do please check the spelling because it's per and then se. It's not per se, like saying
SAY.
something. Yes, it's per se. And per se means by itself or in essence. It could be Latin, or I could be
It could be.
mistaken.
I
It
think
could
so.
be. Yeah, so it's some fancy Latin word that found its way in the modern day language. And yeah, so it means by in essence or by itself.
Yeah.
Like you can say AI isn't cheating per se, but the context matter.
Yes, that's
A
correct.
lot.
Mm-hmm. To implement, and to implement is to put into practice, like to actually do something. So again, turning these plans to into real life or real actions, you're implementing something.
Mhm. Unintentional. If you do something unintentional, it means that you don't do it on purpose. So we were talking about unintentional plagiarism
Yeah.
when people just unfortunately do not know the rules of the Canadian colleges and universities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I didn't mean to,
Yeah.
right? Permissible, and permissible means that something is allowed. Think about the words that are similar to it, like permission or permit. All of those mean like it's okay, it's allowed. So again, same meaning, permissible.
Mhm. The next one, ooh, is a good one. We love it. It's Oxford comma. Oxford comma is the optional comma between and in a list when you're listing some things, and then it's the whole holy war in the world of grammarians. I don't know, and people who are nerds, linguistic nerds, and some say yes, you have to use Oxford comma, and others say like who cares? No, you don't have to use it. So Oxford comma is a tiny punctuation mark that starts giant arguments.
Oh yeah,
on the
yeah.
internet.
Hot topic. It's like, you know, um, I'm going to the grocery store and I'm gonna get apples, comma, milk, comma, and bread.
Uh-huh. So whether you should put it there or not,
Big
that's the whole
debate.
thing about it.
Big debate.
Yeah.
Yes. Next, we have the word to enlighten. And to enlighten is to inform someone of something. Like just to inform, like give that information so that people know. Like it's basically like light, turning on that mental light switch
Ooh, I
there.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Great
for
name.
example, like the my teacher enlightened me on all of the projects we have coming in the next year.
Great. I love it. Okay, and that wraps up our deep dive into the vocabulary of academic integrity.
Yes, and honestly, this episode had more ethics than a philosophy conference.
Oh, sure did. Sure did. Okay, so until next time, stay curious, stay ethical, and stay out of academic trouble.
Bye.
Bye.